Hello everybody, welcome back to Mick. My name's Jack, the tea-drinking snack that smiles back, here for some more strange AITA stories. Now, I've added a little questionnaire down in the description below to get some feedback on some of the videos over the next few days, so please leave some thoughts below. And for now, am I the a-hole for refusing to loan my boyfriend $50,000? My boyfriend and I have been dating for about 3 months. We both love each other very much, and I see a future with him. He immigrated to my home country about 3 years ago and is on a student visa, meaning that he has to pay exorbitant visa fees and full-fee student fees. His parents do not financially support him. I've always admired and respected his ambitions. He was recently talking to me about money problems and basically asked if I could loan him $50,000. I am extremely protective over my money as I work and study 24/7 to maintain my savings. Furthermore, my dad is planning to soon retire from the workforce after a heart attack, so I like having my savings as security, knowing that I could financially support him if needed. My boyfriend knows that I have about $55K saved up, and he also knows that I don't pay too many living expenses besides fuel, groceries, and a phone bill. Edit, I realize I'm slightly blind now. It's $5,000, not $55,000 that he wants. I told him that I wasn't comfortable loaning him money this early in the relationship. He then flipped the conversation on me, getting angry at me because I'm planning on getting a breast augmentation, which will cost me around $10K next year. He called me selfish for spending money on my body rather than him. Am I the a-hole? Some thoughts? Natar, welcome to the Red Flag Parade! Yeah, seriously, there was no one saying Yatar in this situation, and I don't blame them. Maybe if you were married for at least 10, 20 years or something, I'd understand him calling you selfish, that you'd rather spend all this money on yourself than to help him out in his situation. But boy oh boy did he put himself in this situation. Migrating to another country, on a student visa, paying exorbitant fees, and no support from his own family. It's one thing if his family suddenly stopped supporting him, but he has been aware of his living situation for a long time. Also, I don't care if it's only $5K compared to your $55K you've got saved up. That's your money that you've saved up on your own. Go ahead and get yourself 5.5 breast augmentations. You have every right to do that. Obvious, Natar, unless someone can give a very valid reason as to why not, leave it down below. Otherwise, next story. Am I the a-hole for ditching my boyfriend at his friend's wedding? So the first time I tried writing this post, I was 4 times over the character limit. Trying again, speedrun style. We're all in our late 20s, by the way.
Ready, set, go!
Been dating Henry for 4 years. Got together a year after him and his ex, Kim, split up. They dated for 10 years. I know nothing about Kim. Henry never mentions her unless I ask, which I think I've only done once. From what I do know, she initiated the breakup, but it was mostly mutual. Kim was a bridesmaid in the wedding. So, the story. Oh, still speedrunning. Ceremony starts. Henry's visibly uncomfortable as Kim walks down the aisle. Reception starts. He looks even more uncomfy as the bridal party is introduced. Henry starts asking our table if anyone brought booze. One guy did. They excuse themselves to take shots somewhere at the venue. After dinner, the bar opens. No hard liquor, so Henry's inhaling beer. He uses alcohol as a crutch in social situations, and it takes a while for him to get a buzz, so nothing unusual, really. I mean, already a red flag, but okay. An hour in, Henry and his friends step outside to share a blunt, legal state. Around 15 minutes later, the group comes back inside, without Henry. I ask, is Henry still outside? And am met with bloated silence, then stammering.
I'm not sure. You could go out and check.
So, that's what I do. He is outside, with just Kim. I walk up, introduce myself, exchange pleasantries, etc. Kim excuses herself and heads back inside. Henry starts to give me the whole, I know it looks bad, but speech. Kim just wanted to catch up. He didn't know what to do. I tell him, I'm not going to start drama at a wedding, let's just get back inside. But I don't want to see that happen again. He apologizes as we walk back. We have a great hour or so together on the dance floor. He leaves to grab another drink at the bar and disappears again. Again, I ask Henry's friends if they know his whereabouts. Same silence and stammering. Henry's old BFF pulls me aside and says, "Hey, I didn't want to say this in front of everyone because I didn't want to embarrass you, but he's outside with Kim." Cool. I know his phone is in his pocket, so I call him. Ignored. I called 5 times in a row. Ignored. I peek outside and see them together, sitting way too close for my comfort. This time, I don't interrupt. Just went back to the reception. I congratulated the bride and groom, told everyone I'm heading out, but it was great to see you all again. Got an Uber back to our hotel. Henry shows up at our room about 45 minutes later and is peeved. Said he was so worried when he couldn't find me and I had no reason to ditch him like that. So I said, "Well, should have answered your phone, I guess." I refuse to hash things out with him further. We're both drunk, it's not the time for that. The drive home was silent. We haven't seen each other since the wedding, last weekend, for a myriad of reasons, so we haven't talked about it yet. We will tomorrow. Am I the a-hole? I thought leaving was the right thing to do at the time, but now I feel like I went absolutely nuclear. Sad face. People's thoughts? Henry and Kim are major a-holes. You don't relationship catch up with your ex outside after one of you sneaks off from a partner. Yeah, Natar, it made you uncomfortable, and he did it again. In fact, you're so Natar because you left instead of making a scene. Good luck when y'all chat. This is another story where across the board no one was even thinking of a Yatar. And I agree, you had ample opportunity, especially in a drunk, emotional state, to make an entire scene in front of everyone at someone else's wedding about your own relationship issues. But you didn't. You took the high road. And that is mother flippin' emotionally mature and honorable. Henry does goddamn not deserve you. Like, okay, clearly Henry still has some, I would say, unfinished emotional baggage towards Kim, and it's fine to talk that kind of thing out with your ex, but it's another thing to ditch your current partner for that sort of thing. Honestly, I really hope there's an update to this story because I want to know what they decide upon for their relationship. For now, next story. Am I the a-hole for not letting my stepsister wear my wedding dress? I'm a 26-year-old female and I got married in 2016. My wedding dress was a dress my mum made for me when I was 11. She knew she was sick, and she was a dressmaker, and so I asked her to make me a dress for prom and my wedding for the future. They were basically the same dress, just one was pink and the other one was white, but they meant the world to me. Both needed to be altered when I reached the point of wearing them, but luckily my grandma is also a dressmaker, and she did it for me. My stepsister, 24 years old, is now getting married and wants to wear my wedding dress to hers. She's my stepsister through my dad's marriage to his now wife Liz. They got married when I was 7. She didn't know my mum though, and they were nothing to each other. So for the sentimental part, and the part where she didn't even know my mum and couldn't share in that side of the sentimentality, I said no. I didn't want to give away my dress. Maybe if I have a daughter, or a daughter-in-law I'm close to someday, I might offer it there, or give it to them if they want it. But for now, I want to keep both and not share. My no has led to fallout though. My stepsister feels like I'm unfair and is hurt that I don't consider her enough of a sister to share it with her regardless of who made it. My dad is ticked off because this is the second time she wanted one of them. She wanted my prom dress as well, and he said I should have been willing to share one since my stepsister has always looked up to me. Now Liz is ticked off because I wouldn't let her fix my prom dress at the time. She offered with very little experience fitting dresses, and went to my grandma instead, and now I won't let her daughter wear the dress. They all say it's been 5 years now and the wedding dress won't be worn again by me, which might not be true. My husband and I have talked about renewing our vows far in the future and wearing the same clothes. I have been called selfish, mean, a bitch, and other stuff that there is a lot of upset over my decision. My stepsister is genuinely sad. She doesn't even care about the sentimentality. She just wanted it because I had worn it, and she always loved getting my hand-me-downs. Now, I know people are going to immediately say Natar for this one, because her reasoning is sound. It's from her mother, no one else has an attachment like she does to the dress. why give it away? It has such value to her. But I'd like to theorize why you could be an a-hole in this environment. By the reasoning you're giving about your stepsister's decision to want this dress, it sounds like she admires and loves you just as much as you have admiration and love for your late mother. Like, it really seems like she idolizes you. Maybe if you were willing to at least give away the prom dress for a moment, things might not be as heavy as they are right now. But ignoring the stupidity of Liz and your father, what your stepsister is experiencing kinda seems akin to your own late mother refusing to have made you a dress, while still making other dresses for other people. I mean, I know there are some holes in that argument, but I don't know. I think at most, I'd have to say no a-holes here personally. Feel free to change my mind though. Next story. Am I the a-hole for taking back a gift from a fake baby? I work at a popular clothing retailer, and I enjoy my job very much. My coworkers are great, customers are bearable, but one coworker, let's call her Rhonda, has been making my work life a living hell recently. We have worked together for a couple of years now, and things were great. I would even say we were work friends. She invited me to her daughter's baby shower last month, and I agreed to go. What I didn't know was this was not a regular baby shower. I arrived with a gift and was talking to my other coworkers that were there, and we figured out that none of us had met the daughter. Rhonda introduced her daughter to our little group, and I congratulated her and thanked her for having us. She laughed and said something like, "Oh, thank you, but I'm not pregnant quite yet. But it's always good to be prepared for when the time comes." I was visibly confused, which seemed to offend her. After she walked away from our group, my coworker explained that Rhonda had told her when they arrived that this isn't a regular baby shower, and her daughter had been feeling down because quite a few of her friends had been pregnant. I asked the friends if they knew beforehand, but they said no, and that they were confused why they were asked to buy gifts, but decided not to make a big deal about it. I asked Rhonda why she wouldn't tell us that it wasn't a baby shower for a specific baby, and she explained, "Well, the physical invitations explained it was a party for her daughter to shower her with love." Well, none of us co-workers got physical invitations. I asked Rhonda if I could take my gift back since I am not made of money, and I would prefer to get her daughter a gift when she was actually having a baby. Rhonda said that I would be rude to take a gift back after giving it, and that her daughter was going through a lot and was looking forward to opening presents. I said, "I'm sorry, but I can't do this." I took my gift and left. The daughter sent me hateful messages over Facebook, calling me a disrespectful old bitch and a bad friend to Rhonda. I feel bad for storming off and taking back the gift if it was going to cause this much grief. Well, also, I realized I grabbed a gift that was on top of mine that was from my coworker, and she said she wants me to bring it back to her and not give it to Rhonda and her daughter. But Rhonda found out and is threatening to go to HR if I don't return the gifts and buy something else off the registry. Most of the items on the registry aren't even for babies. For the suffering I've caused. Am I an a-hole for taking back a gift because I was lied to? People's thoughts? I'm gonna get a ton of downvotes, but I'm gonna go with ish, just because I don't think you needed to spoil the party by taking the present back and being kind of dramatic, saying, "I can't do this." I don't think they did anything malicious, so ruining a party or the vibe of it was not warranted. Whoa, Nata, and this shower is literally the most tacky, gift-grabby, bat-schmidt crazy thing I've ever heard of. And I've been on several of the more dramatic pregnancy and parenting forums for a long time. Yeah, I thought the grandma showers were the most batshmitt. This is a completely new level. And you may be asking what a grandma, or otherwise known as glamour, shower is all about. Well, here's the disturbing revelation. Glamour is a really tacky name that, for some reason, grandmothers who want to feel young and hip, picture the mum from Mean Girls but as a grandmother, insist on using en masse. These are the type of women who feel so entitled to their daughter or daughter-in-law's pregnancy that they throw baby showers for themselves because they think that they need their own fully equipped nursery, despite the fact that they are not the parents of aforementioned offspring and are not entitled to receiving gifts from other people. It's all very tacky and attention-seeking. So basically, the grandmothers out there who want to be able to have another child but not have the responsibility of actually raising that child. Treating them like cute, entertainable puppies rather than actual, human beings that you have a responsibility to raise. If anyone can explain why the OP could be an a-hole in this situation, I am all ears. Let's play devil's advocate here. Come on, I'm curious. Next story. Am I the a-hole for saying that a two-person household was not a family? My stepdaughter's mother's house is very different from a normal household. She's very much a bare minimum kind of person. The only truly important things are work, school, and appointments. As long as you're on time for those and doing well, have good hygiene, and are keeping your bills paid, everything else is pretty much optional and usually not worthwhile to do. Their house is 3 bedrooms, but it's small, and unless they happen to have a guest, it's just her and her mother. My stepdaughter's mother has a maid service come in once a month to do a clean because she's too busy with a standard 9-to-5 job. Her standards are basically just pick up after yourself, laundry once a week, do the dishes as they come in, and sweep or vacuum if you think it needs it. Now, in an actual family, these standards would lead to the house being an absolute dump. But because her house is all of 2 people, the house is perfectly fine. Now, our family has 11 people when my stepdaughter is here, my husband and I, our other 4 kids, my sister and her son, and my parents. So we run our household very differently. We have things like routines and chore lists. Is a routine not a 9-to-5 job and picking up after yourself when dishes come in? That sounds like a routine. Aside from the past year, we have kids in sports. I'm sorry that we don't have a private bathroom for each person in the house and that we have actual tasks that need to be done in the house every single day and can't just get done tomorrow. She has never adjusted well in transitions and thinks we're strict for having actual standards. I'm sorry, but things just are not the same when it's 2 people versus a family of 10 to 11. It's not just do whatever like it can be with 2 people. After years of arguments, I finally snapped and told her that I'm sorry she has to spend so much time with an actual family. And now everyone is mad at me for not going along with the idea that a single woman with 1 part-time child is just as much a family as a large multi-generational family. I'm sorry, but it's just not. And I'm tired of being the bad guy about it. So, is this person an a-hole? Wow, you're a massive a-hole. I'm a single woman with 1 child. Are we not a family? Were we a family before my son's dad died and now we're not? How does it work in your eyes? Yata! And to say that to someone's face, you're an even bigger a-hole. Yeah, just because you are a control freak doesn't make you better. It sounds like having a family of 11 is an objectively worse quality of life experience for everyone involved. I mean, hey, instead of admitting and being honest with yourself and your stepdaughter about the drawbacks of your current living situation, you're claiming that somehow your family's difficulties make you a real family. And people who don't do things your way aren't legitimate. Yeah, I love this comment, but oh god, it's just so much to read. So I'm just gonna leave it here for you to pause on if you genuinely want to read it. I think the worst part of the story, though, is the fact that if she just took this at a different angle, she could have easily come across as not the a-hole. Like, she is valid when she says that things just are not the same when it's 2 people versus a family of 10 to 11, and that you can just do whatever like it can be with 2 people. That is valid, yes. But to argue that that is not a family? Like, damn, mom, why don't you add a bit of 30 minutes to your current routine where you can go and frick yourself? Next story. Am I the a-hole for making a secret snack cabinet after my mum banned sugar from our house? I'm a 16-year-old female, and my sister, who's 14, was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes a few months ago. My mum tried adjusting our diets, but if my mum bought a box of cocoa pebbles, she'd eat half of it the day she bought it, or when my mum occasionally came home with Oreos, she'd eat the whole thing. Every time my sister did that, my mum would yell at both of us to not single my sister out. Last month, she banned all sugar and unhealthy snacks from our house. I got really frustrated because I felt like I was being punished for her lack of self-control. A little less than a week later, I found a small cabinet with a lock, mini fridge with a freezer, and a microwave and put them under my desk. My sister found out I had a snack cabinet and stole most of the snacks in my room while I was at work. After that, my mum found out I had a snack cabinet and she yelled at me for breaking the rules and for letting my sister have sugar. She grounded me and made me quit my job, so I wanted to know if I was the a-hole. Ooh, people's thoughts? Yata! This is a medical problem, and your younger sister is having a hard time doing what she needs to do. Your mum wants your support, but instead, you're thinking of yourself. Though why on earth your mum would buy cocoa pebbles after adjusting the family diet is beyond me. Everyone sucks here. You should follow the ban. You may feel like you're being punished for her issues, but trust me, it is not about you. Your mum put the ban on the whole family, so it's not like she wants you to suffer specifically. Your sister is old enough to have self-control though. Why your mum made you quit your job, I don't understand. No a-holes here, really. Your sister cannot control herself around sweets, and her health is at stake. If that means no sugar in the house, that means no sugar in the house until she can learn to control the cravings. But you should be able to have some secret sugar snacks as long as she doesn't know about it too. And Nata, your mother is going overboard and needs to hold your sister accountable for her own actions, or she'll grow up with no self-control if she even makes it that far. Yeah, you're allowed to have your own stuff and to expect that other people not take what's yours. It's good that your mum is trying to help your sister and all, but there's no reason you shouldn't have a treat once in a while just because your sister has no self-control. I like the comments of this one because they're all over the place. The OP does mention in the comments that her sister managed to find out where she left her keys. So based on the OP's own genuine tardiness in this situation, I do have to see them as a bit of an a-hole. And if not an a-hole, then just an idiot. Hell, at least even mention to your mum about finding this cabinet and striking a deal with her to be allowed to have sweets together, but just make sure that you have the lock. Hell, be smarter about it. Get a padlock. Just monitor your sister's internet history in case she's ever trying to look up how to be a lockpicker. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not giving my parents all of my money? So I'm a 15-year-old male, and I've gained a lot of money, at least for my age, high five-figure range, through cryptocurrency. I worked hard for this, as I didn't have any money to start with, and worked my way up. I got into trading and hit both Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. After I couldn't keep it a secret anymore, I told my parents. I thought they would be happy for me and telling me to cash out and put it away. I was wrong. They screamed at me and were telling me that I should go to jail for earning more money than them. All I was doing was perfectly legal. They told me that they wanted to have this money and that I needed to give it to them for being my parents and letting me eat and stuff. So, am I the a-hole for not giving it to them and cashing out when I am 18? Comments are pretty interesting on this one. I don't think you understand trading. You cannot legally trade until you're 18, and they are liable for all the taxes incurred. So, yes, it's legally their money until your legal age. That's why custodial accounts exist. You're basically committing tax evasion and fraud. Be careful. Everyone sucks here. But if you are in the US, you cannot legally invest at your age. So if you must have lied to open up the account, your parents are legally responsible for all your debts until you are 18. So you may have issues. No, you're fine. It's amazing how many times I have to repeat this, but your parents providing food, clothing, and shelter to you while you are a minor is not an optional thing, nor a transaction you need to repay. This is an obligation they took up when they decided to have a child. They don't get to abandon this obligation just because they found out their child did a good job earning money. I don't mean to be too much of a child-free person, but absolutely to this last comment. It is honestly disgusting how quickly some parents just turn around against their child once that kid makes some decent money for themselves. That said, the other comments are right to be cautious. If the market crashes and you are owing money, all legal financial burdens will fall on your parents. You could easily turn into the a-hole that caused your parents to go into like $50,000 of debt. But the parents clearly weren't being upset about that. They were merely just wanting some extra cash, so you're still not the a-hole. Next story. Would I be the a-hole if I told my mum she needs to pitch in? I'm a 17-year-old female and have always been close to my mum, who's 46. But a few years ago, she got a job and drastically changed. Soon after she started working, she started changing how she acts and started drinking and getting high. She slowly stopped being at home and going out all the time and coming home messed up. Now all she does is drink and get high and tries getting my brother and dad to get high with her. My dad is the one who pays all the bills along with my grandma. They pay electricity, water, and rent. My brother pays for Wi-Fi. My mum only pays for the phone bills. My dad and grandma don't always have extra money for food, but try to get something for us. My mum does not pay for anything but the phone bill for my brother, her, and I. Now, my boyfriend, who's 17, started living with us 7 to 8 months ago because of personal reasons at home. His mum had food stamps and was happy to help to get us groceries for a few months. We can't rely on those anymore for other reasons as well. But my problem is my mom. She always says she doesn't have the money for food, but always comes home with weed or more alcohol. My mom has never used her money to help with other bills when she has it, and always uses it for tattoos or other things. My mom has caused problems the last year of our lives with cheating on my dad, and she keeps texting dudes now as well. I asked her the other day if I could order pizza because we don't have food, and she says she didn't have it, but came home with $30 worth of food for herself and alcohol. Today, my mom and dad went to IHOP, which is expensive for actual meals. They got meat, which is $25 to $30. We never have anything to eat, but my mum always says she doesn't have the money, but comes home with alcohol or food for herself that she ends up wasting. But I'm torn if I would be the a-hole if I told her she needs to pitch in. Now in edit, I have tried to get a job on 5 different times. I've applied at her job 3 times and at a coffee place, but the only shift they have is 3 a.m. and I can't drive. I've also applied to an online job, but you have to be 18. Another edit, I forgot to mention, my dad told her to get a job so she didn't keep wasting the money that was used on the bills or food in the house. So many edits! I also forgot to mention that my parents have fought a lot the last year because of her alcohol and weed. My dad always brings me into the middle of the fights, along with me making sure my mum gets home from work, or whoever she's talking to, if it's a guy, or who she's hanging out with. So, people's thoughts? Yes, so very much, Yata. You are a child, and you moved your boyfriend in with your family, but you're mad at your mother, an adult, for doing what she is doing. It is not your business. You don't like it? Move out with your boyfriend. Nata, and you're still a kid dealing with grown-up stuff. Sorry you have to do that. It will make you a better person in the future. Yeah, your mum is being selfish and somewhat of a gold digger. Everyone pays bills but her. Your dad tells her to get a job so she can stop spending his money, and she spends all of hers getting fricked up, eating out, and cheating? Yeah, Nata. So of course, she's earning her money, she's allowed to spend her money how she chooses. She is a grown adult, she's allowed to make her own choices. But that's completely ignoring the fact that she has a family with bills to pay and children still technically under 18 to take care of. Feel free to argue that she shouldn't have the responsibility of your boyfriend's health and well-being, but to provide food for you? Yes, absolutely. Honestly, with the choices she's making, no, you don't have a mother, you have a sister. And I am so sorry you have to deal with that. Get out when you can, as soon as you can. Save up that money and flee. Leave. With that said, that will be the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and all that stupid blubbly bloobly stuff you hear with every single YouTube video says these days. If you're new to the channel, then please do subscribe so I have your soul forever under my control. I'm just kidding, of course. Or am I? Roll the dice. My name has been Jack, you have been a lovely person to ramble at, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.